Hello, everyone, and great greetings wherever you may be. Um, the last few days again, it's been pretty intense on many levels, good ways, and also, let's say, some of the denser ways, and with some of those experiences as well. What I need to say is upon the planet, there is so many of us that are here as a divine ground crew. There's over 4 million upon the planet. And having said this, in this great time of unity, in case all don't know, they must unite and converge together to transition humanity. And, over these 4 million that are activated now to sufficient degrees to be the leaders for humanity, they are still all spread out. We're getting some of them together, but they need to unite with the mission and the one common goal. So, having said that, I am going to be blunt that with the mission, there is no denying it, meaning that ones that don't come in alignment with their mission and knowing what's occurring upon the planet, they will be squeezed and compressed and forced to make the decisions to going forward. So let's say enough information is handed to them so that they understand and they resonate with it, what it should be, to take them forward. But if they resist it, and it's partially because of the consciousness and the conditioning and the comfort level that some of them get into, for example, with their lives. If they're in a comfortable level, they become complacent because there is no incentive or drive to make them want the change. And this is where all of you that were in great places of lack, you can readily identify with what I just said. For each one of you, let's say, that was targeted and stripped of all of your wealth and your material wealth, and one's even with tooth and nail, if you will, tried to hang on, but against all what would be considered astronomical odds, it was taken from you because it was all divine, and no one can fight against divinity and the ascension, the planetary ascension. So very simply, once again, to remind everyone, we're all here to do a mission, to come together to get it done. And you cannot resist it. So having said that, I needed to say that because this is also what's occurring now with, let's say, more of the divine angelic ones that were reluctant to be more proactive and to unite and take things forward. They're being divinely forced. And this also has to occur because when they're forced, on the other side of that comes their empowerment. Then they see. So it divinely needs to be done with certain ones. And also on the broader scale with the masses. There is going to be, let's say, what we call the lower timeline. There's going to be disruption on that. There's going to be some fear-based events that need to occur. So everyone needs to be conscientious of what's occurring with that lower timeline. It has to. The people, the masses were not rising out of fear enough. What you would saw, they made great progress in the last 2 years. But then when, let's say, they were giving a reprieve or a breath of fresh air, they kind of fell back into complacency. and then nothing more or less went forward. So they're going to be divinely tried again to make the choices to take the planetary ascension forward. So everyone needs to discern that there are two timelines playing out. There's this false narrative one with fear and all of this associated with it. You will see it. You will see some of it. And we are on this higher timeline, but we can see everything that happens down here, and we do interact with it, all of us. But there is, you are presently in a duality, as you all know, and there's even the triality. But with the triality, upper state, let's say those that were sitting under the tree and manifesting and creating from there, they're all being called to action. And everyone has to unite and converge together to change their reality. So there is no one, if you will, that's going to be sitting out. It will be divinely arranged and orchestrated that the important divine ones, that the answer, if you will, the divine clarion call to take the new reality forward. So as the old destructs, the new is constructed, and it's both happening at the same time. And the reason why it's happening, the new being constructed and the old being destructed, the reason it's happening at the same time is to limit the amount of chaos that will occur upon the planet, to limit the amount of chaos and let's say despair and all of this, so that, you know, they do have the choice right now for the new world. And by having that, with their confusion after they're compressed and, let's say, surrender fighting to the darkness, well, the new is right here. So they can make that quick, most common sense, most logical choice, where they don't even need to be awakened to make it. But it is all of the ones that are awakened. It is your obligation, it is your responsibility, it is your divine mission to take things forward. And having said that, with the false narratives and at putting out the truth, if you will, all the digital warriors putting out the truth and the evidence, don't get caught up into that. There are many of you that need to be up here in constructing this new world. Don't get caught up into the looping and the distraction of that. There are more every day that are awakening that will take your places at assuring that the truth continues to get distributed. What we need is you higher leaders up here constructing this new world, because this is what limits the chaos that will and that has to occur. And I cannot put it any more blunt than that. Now, what I can say on the higher level, there have been what I'd like to say, our team or my little team, but it's our team that we have assembled that is doing very important divine energetic work. There's perhaps 11 or 12 others that are associated with this important divine work. It's being done on a higher level. The 14th dimensional conduit gate is opened. And having said that, I strongly request and I strongly inform all of you intuitives and divine ones that are connected more to Source and Elohim and the galactics to open your channels to the 14th dimensional Andromedon future Earth and bring in this information, the knowledge, and distribute it out. And if you're a blogger or what have you, this channeled information, and began to get it out so that it also spreads around the planet as a knowledge base, and also a directive for the very near future. And again, yes, I I need to say we are divine. We're sent here, from a Creator, and we are a part of Creator. And the work that we do is at the Creator level, and at creating timelines. And part of what I do, I'm an overseer of the Ascension, which means we have great prudence and discipline in taking humanity forward, and through divine measures at limiting that chaos. But having said this, we would not even be upon the planet doing any of this if it did not need to be done. And this is an important point, and this is why everyone must be called to action and be proactive in creating the unity and the transitioning for the new world. It doesn't get done if all of you don't participate and we don't do it. You just stay looping in the old. So having said that, we are doing our best. There are variables because what's occurring on the soul level, the choices need to be made with the material physical vessels of each, and your consciousness that you have now. You need to make the choices in this material manifest to take humanity forward. And this is why with what we're doing, that the choice is given there. And let's say the choice is given on a silver platter, if you will, where it's irresistible to any that can see it. But of course, again, we are, as I said, with the consciousness, because the consciousness is involved also with the human aspect of each individual. It's happening very rapidly, but it needs to be the assistance from each individual soul to make it happen and create it as well. And again, it is everyone coming together with the one common goal that is the ultimate, that takes everything forward. So when we have all of the consciousness and the empowered light leaders that are here, and the divine ones that know who they are, when we have them all coming together, which they have begun to come together, once we have this done, then we quickly bring in the new world. So the new world is guaranteed with it. Getting back, to the updates, I'm very impressed by the power of the divine feminine here in this now. I got a pleasant surprise, a day or two ago. I was given the divine instruction, okay, divine feminine, anchor in the magnetics. It's being provided by the sun, which, is confirmed as well. But to my pleasant surprise, the amount of magnetism upon the planet was beyond anything what was here. But it was also indicative of the huge strength and increase in empowerment from the divine feminine compared to any time in the past. So just absolutely impressed. And, we had created an overbalance of the magnetism, and this is why I had to come and said, okay, come on, masculine and masculine aspect that is also within the strong, balanced, divine feminine. Okay, now we got to bring in some of this electric to stabilize things. It was overbalanced with the gravimetrics, the magnetic, and we had to bring in the electrical component to achieve quite a balance. But the way that things work is, it's not fully physics in the sense of what was known to science. For ones to really understand what's occurring, you got to go to that metaphysical level, and then you need to include the divine creation as well, and that's where you get a broader understanding of how energetics really works, and how the creator codes and what have you is within, if you wish to look at all of the molecular space in any space and time, without complicating this further. However, it is the real thing, it is the real deal. So at this time, again, just to say yes, it's my last speaking with Father. I had asked if the lower timeline fear could be avoided. I was told no, not at this time, unless something changes. So having said that, all of you, even though we don't wish to see it and we don't want it, that we may need to deem it as necessary to move humanity forward. And with this, there is a linear time involved with this ascension, and this is one of the reasons that I push, if you will, GPMS so much forward and say, come on, everyone, let's get this done, because there is a linear time that is attached with this, meaning that it needs to be done. That's why the push is here right now. Everything's been set up for the full reasons why it needs to be done. I could speculate, but I don't do that, but I can feel it, because I do know that the planet, if you will, as it is running out of time. And all of you would have your own guidance as to why that is correct and to confirm it. So we have this one chance, if you will, here to take everything forward now, and let's even say to save many while in the human form, so that they go through to be part of this new reality. So everyone is responsible and divinely obligated to play your roles to assure and ascertain that this happens sooner than later, because linear time is involved in it, meaning that it's that, you know, we could say that time is running out. It's all guaranteed and ascertained, yet what I need to say is that the quicker we get it done, the more souls that go forward. But the longer that we wait, then there needs to be more misery, and there will be less that will be going forward with this, with the physical vessel intact. And, you know, for example, forward with this new is also all of the healing modalities and higher technology to assist all up in this higher dimensional level. But the thing with that, the problem with it, is that the new technology that is up in this higher dimension reality, it does not work down here. So we need to alleviate the stress factor and get them up here. And then everyone is healed, if you will, by being under the premise or perhaps a preconceived notion that everything gets done down here. It doesn't actually occur that way. Everyone needs to be proactive. The longer you hesitate and wait, the more destruction and the more separation from all of the technology and what have you being released, and all the healing modalities again. So it's so important. It's so important to inform all of your children, and as many children and youth as well. The to focus on the ones that know and believe in God and know they are the star seeds here to take humanity forward and to change this entire paradigm to the heaven on earth scenario as well. So, yeah, we are making incredible headways, all of us, you included, and everything that we do now has more of an impact and effect upon the timelines, and because of course it's coming from the heart with the good intent, and the more purified each individual becomes from the negative and old acts and actions from fear, the more of an influence and impact you have on reality. Hence the importance of everyone, during the course, more prominently the last decade, of doing your inner work and letting go of the non-virtuous and dense acts and actions, and changing your demeanor to reflect the purity and what is virtuous, what is moral, and what is ethically correct and also righteous. And this puts you more in your power with that. So having said that, also a part of our divine mission, Femke and I here, is to still rely on some funding from some of you from the old. So anyone that is able to financially assist with a little bit of funding to keep us going forward. We don't need much, and by no means anyone, don't put yourself in a state of lack. We all know how very hard it is here for many, and how much harder it's becoming because of that lower timeline with the inflation and the ridiculous prices of things, the shortages of food, and it's all for the old, but it is affecting all of us. And so we understand that, and a little bit, just it doesn't take much for Femke and I. We just eat and do smoke organic tobacco, and I feel I'll do a live on that, explaining the benefits of the organic tobacco in the future. But what I suggest is, for any of you that are saying no, tobacco is poisonous, there's more information that is coming out from studies in universities that is showing the actual beneficial effects of organic tobacco on some. So you may be interested, before saying tobacco is bad, to do a little bit more research on the types of tobacco. Yes, tobacco is bad if it's chemical made cigarettes. It's all been chemically induced. However, organic tobacco does do another thing, good things for you as well. And this is why, all the indigenous peoples have included and had, even before the Caucasian or the white man knew about tobacco, with Sir Walter Raleigh, if you will, that these indigenous communities way back smoked ceremonial tobacco because they knew of its benefits and how it would open up channels, if you will, to the etheric spirit world and many more good things. But I won't get into that. But having said that, if any wishes to contribute to our Ascension mission, what Femke and I is doing, you can find a link on my profile here in the About section with the PayPal account. And if it resonates with you and you're divinely called, you can, hello, you come and say hello. There you go. Say hi. You saying hi? That's a beautiful friend we have here. So yeah, if it resonates, you got pretty blue eyes, don't you? Yeah. So if it resonates with any little bit of funding, we'll assist, keep us going forward to the place where no one will need to ask, for no one will be in lack, and everyone will have everything they need and sharing everything together. And that's what this mission is about, to take humanity out of the savagery, out of the codependency, and to fully liberate the planet from the darkness and the old dark and evil constructs. So we're doing it. Yes, it's already been won. We're acting it out, but there are the variables yet, meaning that it's we shortened the linear time up considerably, and with every proactive action by the divine ones, it shortens that linear time that we get it all done. So, the fur's coming out of you. So anyways, having said that, love, light, and gratitude, and victory, and the Holy Grail, and the mother aspect of God, which is so important as well. And of course, this is a unity tied together, and a beautiful little, I don't know, perhaps 7 or 8 year old indigenous girl with her mom. She went and one day I was in British Columbia, she went and did this to me. I said, "What does that mean?" She said, "That means unity." So it was very beautiful. Her mom and her parents had taught her the importance of unity, and making that motion and expressing it outward, and being the example of the importance of it. So, okay, love you all. We got this, and love, light, gratitude, and kisses, and we'll speak soon. And I'm keeping very busy, but we're doing great. Woo! Thank you.